Welcome to Chika Sa Casa. Welcome back to another episode of Chika Sa Casa, your passport to candid chats, creative tales, and cultural vibes. I'm Argentina, your host, and today we've got a social media rock star in the house, someone who turns pixels into poetry and stories into symphonies. Justine isn't just an influencer, she's like a modern magician who weaves her Filipino Canadian heritage into every pixel and frame. If creativity were a recipe, she'd be the master chef of blending fashion, food, travel, and all things Pinoy, spicing up our screens with a dash of her unique charm. From the vibrant streets of Toronto to your Instagram feed, Justine's infectious enthusiasm for film, trends, and creative storytelling is something you can't scroll past. Let's not forget TikTok, where she's taken her talents and trends to a whole new level. So get ready, because today's episode isn't just a conversation, it's a journey into the art of cultural fusion. We're diving into the tales behind the trends, the challenges of bringing two worlds together, and of course, all the laughs and lessons that have come along the way. Now let me introduce you to a true content queen, the one and only Justine Hailee. Welcome, Justine. Hi, kumusta?
Hello, I'm good. Kamusta? Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you for taking the time. All right, let's get to it, because I can't wait to chico with you. I know you have
Absolutely.
a lot of amazing things
Mhm.
that we can talk about. But I want to understand, how did you get into content creating? Like, walk us through your journey into content
Yeah. So at first, ever since 2006, even when YouTube actually was a thing,
creation.
I really wanted to edit videos. Like I was just like editing. This was way back when like the free editor app on your phone and you would just download it and just try something new. Even before that, I was just like I love editing pictures actually because on Instagram you just used to like share pictures, right? So I just started that and then eventually when the technology was evolving, I started like downloading and trying something new about videos and stuff. And then I found out that, wow, like it was a newly discovered skill. Like I never thought that I would have that thing until it develops and it developed. And then I was just used to it now. And then I started like talking in front of the camera, meeting new people, and that's where it started.
Wow. So
Yeah.
you've been doing it since 2006.
Yes, I was doing it since 2006, but I wasn't really I was just doing all this cinematic like views. I wasn't really speaking in front of the camera. I wasn't even doing voiceovers before because I don't know if it was for me because sometimes you gotta try and test out things first and see if it's for you. So
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, like before I was like, okay, I'm gonna test it out and see if it works. And then
Mm-hmm.
it became a passion and then a hobby. And then here we are. That's where it all started because it's just all about trying something new, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's
But
where it
how did,
started.
like, what was that? Because that's really cool. Did you have any creative influences in your family, parents that are into photography or
Yes,
film?
yes. So basically, my family, they're all into the artistic side. So,
Mm-hmm.
they're like my family, which was my grandpa is even an artist. He does a lot of painting, and yeah, and so I felt that I wasn't able to get that part where like the artistic side, where like painting and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
I think what passed it down to my generation was like all about the digital creating, so
Mm-hmm.
that's where I found my passion. It might not work for me like how my relatives and my family had that gift,
Mm-hmm.
but then I had a different one. So this is what I'm exploring.
So
Yeah.
you all have the creative gene. You just chose a different medium to express your
Yes,
creativity.
exactly,
That's
exactly. Because it's
amazing.
all about really finding what's for you and what's not for you,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
that's just helps you really tells you who you are, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Do you remember that moment wherein, because you from what you've shared, it was just just trying it out,
yeah,
just
yeah,
seeing what it's about.
yeah.
Do you have the exact moment where you had that, ha, this is working. People
Yes,
resonate with my content. I can do
yes,
this. Like, do you
yes.
remember that moment for you?
Yes, but for everyone who actually starts doing like this kind of content creation, it's
Mm.
like a trial and error, right?
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm,
You try something. To be honest with you, I started with beauty videos. I was
mm-hmm,
doing makeup, right?
mm,
So I was just doing makeup. That was like straight content, beauty makeup. I would like showcase like what I'm using and things like that. And then I explored YouTube. I was doing vlogs. So I was in that peak moment where I'm like, who is my like who is my audience? Like I don't know, like
Mm-hmm.
until I try to combine everything together, because I felt like I'm sharing my beauty content, but then I do have my other guy cousins who also watches my video, and I'm like, what are they going to get out of my videos, right? So
Mm-hmm.
how are they going to like resonate, right?
Yeah.
So one thing that really helped me discover
Mm-hmm.
is really embracing our culture and sharing, like
Mm-hmm.
moving from back home Philippines to Canada, like
Mm-hmm.
really like embracing who we truly are, and like
Mm-hmm.
showing, oh, this is what we do, this is how we do it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
those are the things that really I find that really worked for us, because that's how we,
Mm-hmm.
like, we Filipinos, we always have things to say, we always have a lot of things to share. So I felt that really was my moment to really,
So that's when it like, okay,
yeah.
your audience started resonating with
Exactly.
your content.
That's where it really all started. Like
So in the
embracing.
beginning of your content creation journey, did you ever have those insecurities where you were kind of afraid to show your Filipino side?
Yes.
Because you're like, you live in Canada, right? Like a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
people think that, when in
Exactly.
Rome, do what the Romans do type of
Oh
thing,
yeah. Oh
right?
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
talk to us about that whole process wherein,
Yeah.
they may not resonate because I'm Filipino, and
Yeah.
you're trying to like fit in the mold of,
That's true.
the usual influencers that you
Yeah.
see here in
hmm
Canada. Um,
I
yeah, well, how was that for you?
that's a really great question, because I truly experienced that, and I felt like pretty much you also experienced this, because we, as like, we are the one who actually puts ourselves out there. So
Mhm.
you are in the peak of, should I show my Filipino side or my Canadian side?
Mm.
So like you're in that peak moment. And knowing like us, sometimes like for our culture, we kind of want to, how do you say it? I don't want to put down anyone, but when you say that you don't want to kind of embarrass
Mm.
what's wrong, like,
Mhm.
because there's also like,
Mhm.
challenges and things like that. But, I truly, you know, realized that really embracing who I am with my content and my authenticity is really something that really helped me out. And also part of, learning and being so much aware of the things, of the bad habits that our culture, and not even just our culture itself of being a Filipino, but as a society,
Mhm.
right? So just kind of knowing and being aware of the things that, whenever you talk, you gotta have to be careful. Like, are you offending someone? Like, we have to
Mm.
be things like that. You gotta always do your research. Like, if you
Mhm.
kind of like promoting something, you gotta have to make sure that you're not, like you're not putting anyone down or anything like that. You just have
Mhm.
to be careful with what you say too, right? I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong expressing yourself, but at the same
Mhm.
time, it's always nice to be authentic, right? But
Mhm.
you got to always be careful with what you say too.
Mhm. And this is social media. Everything is recorded. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Exactly. Yeah.
you can't
Yeah.
take things back. Once you
That's
put it
true.
out there, it's out
Yeah.
there. It's off of
That's
your
true.
hands, and there, you lose control, right?
Yeah. 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 That's so
So
true.
absolutely, there's got to be a mindful way of using your platform, using
Mm-hmm.
social media, and the type
Mm-hmm.
of content that you're putting out there.
Exactly.
The other layer to this, you and I being Filipino, right? And I'm sure you probably went through this when you're just starting as a content creator, is that,
hmm
will I embarrass myself and my family?
Oh, yes.
What will they think of
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
whole
I felt
feeling.
that. I felt that really. And even when I wanted to like talk in front of the camera and my family is there,
Mhm.
I feel like I'm weird. Like,
Yeah. Do you
because
feel like you're being judged?
yeah, yeah. Like, I'm not saying that my family are like too judgmental, but I'm just saying
Mhm.
you just feel that as a human being, because
Mhm.
they don't do what you're doing. You
Mhm.
feel different, right?
Mhm.
So like there are, times that when I want to vlog this, like I want to like take like my camera and like show like, hey, I'm here, but
Yeah.
like my other family are not really into like cameras and stuff. They don't like talking
Mhm.
in front of the camera and things like that. But
Mhm.
it's just all about respecting them too, right?
Mhm.
Because I want to be myself with them.
Mhm.
Like, I want to show who I am,
Yep.
because I can't shrink myself like that. Like, okay, my
Mhm.
family is not into what I'm doing, and I
Mhm.
totally respect that. But
Yeah.
if I want to do what I'm doing, like,
Mhm.
I would just kind of like respect their space, and like, okay, I'll do this where they're not here, and like, I'll just try to like get some angles that nobody
Mhm.
will be on my video. If my other relatives would love to be on my video, by all means, just join me. But there are
Mhm.
some that they're not really into it, and that's totally fine with me, because
Mhm.
that's just not their thing. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten like a mean comment from a tito or tita about being a content creator?
Ooh. So far, none.
Come
Here,
on.
here, here,
Okay.
here in
Okay.
Canada, none
Okay.
here,
Mhm.
right? But like our,
Back
sometimes like we,
home.
Yeah, you will get a lot of like, oh, what she's doing, like, why are
Because
you
she
doing
thinks
that?
she is. She thinks she's like
Yeah,
an
like, are you,
artista. Is she sikat?
exactly, yeah, artista ka na ba? Like, who do you think you are? Like,
Mhm.
parang they say that, are you even earning money from that? Like,
Mhm.
and for me, Argentina, if you have the passion,
Mhm.
like for me, like I started without even, demanding money or
Mhm.
like, oh, I'm gonna do this, you pay me. I'm not like
Mhm.
that. I
Mhm.
do this for my passion because I love what I do.
Mhm.
People or like brands or others, like, companies that I support because I love supporting people. I don't care about my, like, it's not that I don't need money, but I'm just saying is I'm just all about supporting, right? I want to
Mhm.
be in that community where I do support because I
Mhm.
want that to be given to me the same way, right?
Mhm.
So yun lang. For me, I just love to support, and that's just the energy that I want to put out there, and
No, that's
I
beautiful. That's
yeah,
such a
yeah.
good thing. And the thing is too, when you're doing social media, um, as a profession, right?
Hmm.
And as an influencer, you can't avoid trolls and the
Oh
hate
yeah.
comments,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
They will be there no matter how
They will be.
small of a content creator you think you
Yes, they will. There will
are.
be.
So
There will
how do
be.
you handle that? And how do you make sure that you protect your mental health as well?
Yeah,
Because it can
yeah.
be too much.
That's a very good question because I've learned, you know, as I'm being in front of like social media and my putting myself out there, I've learned to accept sometimes constructive criticism
Mhm.
because everyone has opinion. Let's say
Fair.
if I
Mhm.
say something and someone doesn't agree with me, okay, I totally respect that. But if it's an attack towards you
Mhm.
personally, that's a different story. So how I deal with that is that I don't really respond.
Mhm.
I don't take the time to respond to them because first of all, you're already gaining their attention of this person. They're already
Mhm.
keep on coming back on your page.
Mhm.
Like why you keep on coming back? Like if you
Mhm.
don't agree with me, if you don't like my style or you don't want what I'm talking about, then why you keep on coming back just to troll
Mhm.
me? Like
Mhm.
you're just wasting your time, right?
Mhm.
And I would literally just ignore. I would ignore. I wouldn't even delete
Mhm.
their comment. Just, yeah, you want my attention because that's what they are. They just really
Mhm.
wanted your attention and they
Mhm.
want to suck your energy down because like the aura that you're putting out there is
Mhm.
totally different. And sometimes they
Mhm.
find it like it just like probably like your light shines so bright that like
Mhm.
their energy is like, I'm just gonna troll you.
Yeah. But you know what? And that's beautiful,
Hmm.
and that's a very mature way of handling it. But
Yeah.
we're humans. Sometimes we're in the mood,
Yeah. Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 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 Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
will
Sure.
catch you in the mood,
Yeah.
right?
That's
So
true.
how do you ground yourself
Hmm.
whenever you get into that, someone presses the wrong button?
How would I approach it is that I would just say I would make sure that my response is always professional still,
Hmm.
even if let's say like I honestly haven't got like the experience where it was really
Hmm.
like it really it just crossed the border where it was personally attacking me,
Mhm.
thankfully. But how the way I will approach it is that of course I wanna maintain my professionalism, right?
Mm.
Because this is the brand that I'm building. I know
Mhm.
I know sometimes people can get to your nerves and push the
Mhm.
button and they want to bring out the worst in you, but
Mhm.
that's something that I'm not gonna let that happen to me because I'm just out here having fun, doing what
Mm.
I love, but
Mhm.
I'm not here to kind of, get myself to like have more mental issues because of these people hating on me. I'm just gonna move on. You don't like me, okay, that's fine, but I'm still gonna do my thing anyway. So
I love
sorry.
that. You're a better human than me. Just do that
No, girl, I
much.
know. No, yo, I do love how the way you actually react to your TikToks. I love that, and I'm always like, "Ooh, I love that." Like, yeah, I mean, I would love to do that too, but honestly, I'm telling you, I just don't have the time. I'm like,
Girl,
ugh.
when I have time, I
Yeah,
have time. You
yeah.
want my
You
attention?
better, you
Let's
better
go.
show. Yep, you better show them. And honestly, you're doing it right because sometimes they won't just stop, and they just really want your attention. So just give it the show. Like, okay, you want to be like, okay, let me call you out. But
For me, it's
I
like, you
mean,
know what? I'm actually running out of content ideas. Let's
yeah,
make it, let's
actually, they
make it
help too.
comment a content.
Yeah, that actually helps. Yeah, yeah. I love how it actually, creates a more interesting way
Mm.
of like to see what your different side is.
Yeah.
And that's actually a good thing. Maybe one day you'll see me like
Ooh,
yeah,
Justin.
right. You'll see
Okay.
me, but so far, I haven't, experienced that yet. But
Mhm.
we'll cross the bridge when we get there. Let's see how I'm gonna respond. But for
Yeah,
now,
because
I
you can
just
put out like the kindest, wholesome
yeah,
video,
yeah, yeah,
and they
yeah,
would still find something to hate. And it's
yeah,
like, what a
yeah.
miserable
I
life for
know
someone to like
exactly
look at a wholesome video and say,
why.
I don't like the light there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what?
Like literally, like even what you wear, or like this the most single thing that you say. You know how our languages are English is our second language. We talk Tagalog, right? So
Mm-hmm.
even that stuff, like when you just mispronounce something, oh, she mispronounced that wrong, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
why? This is,
Yeah.
as long as you
Well,
do
that's
understand.
actually a good point that you mentioned because
Mhm.
you do try to infuse, you're Filipina and you live in Canada, so you call Canada home,
Yes.
but in your content you're trying to infuse Filipino culture and Canadian culture together,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you mentioned like sometimes you would pronounce a certain thing and
Hmm.
someone would make a
Hmm.
comment.
Yeah.
How do you navigate that world? Because a lot of content creators outside of the Philippines that are Filipino find it challenging sometimes because they would get comments like, well, you're really not Filipino enough to be talking about that or to be talking about our culture like that. So
Yeah.
do you ever feel that pressure? And if so, how do you manage that?
Us, because we're very so aware of the way we speak, the way we put our words together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we Filipinos who are actually, fluent in speaking in Tagalog at the same time, we think so fast because you translate it, right? You translate
Mm-hmm.
the words so fast in your head, right?
Mm.
But in terms of getting corrected with that, like I still keep going. Like
Mm.
I don't mind. I as long as I'm sending the message out there, like you
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm trying to point out here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really focus on if I'm mispronouncing. And sometimes if I get corrected, like I would still correct myself. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like what I mean is this, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not afraid of really correcting myself if I know I'm wrong,
Mm-hmm.
especially the little things like that. But
Mm.
it's just things happen.
Yeah.
You can't control those things. So
Yeah. No,
yeah.
for sure. Because for me, for example, I moved to Canada while I was already 21, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So, half of my life was spent here and half of my life was spent in the Philippines.
Yeah.
And when I'm trying to talk about things about Filipino culture, history, those type of things, and I would get a comment like, "Well, you're really not Filipino anymore because
Oh,
that
because the way
type
you
of." No,
speak.
it's not even the way I speak. It's because I don't live there, right?
Oh,
And then, and I always say there is however many Filipinos out there in the world, that's how many millions of ways you can be Filipino. There's no
yeah.
one way, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So for someone to claim, well, this is how you represent Filipino,
Yeah.
that's impossible.
Yeah.
There's no
True.
way,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So that's why, like when I hear other creators as well, getting those comments, and I
Hmm.
just like, you know what, you do you,
Yeah,
you
you do
know,
you.
you
Like
do you.
whatever. Your opinion is not going to define who you like. And I mean, others' opinion is not going to define who you are, right?
Mm,
What you
mm,
think of who you are matters. Whatever they say, either you change your whole lifestyle because you moved to Canada.
mm-hmm,
I don't I don't care. Like
mm,
you tell we evolve, right?
mm-hmm,
We evolve. So your lifestyle changes, everything changes, but one thing I know for sure it's for the better, right?
mm,
And sometimes people are going to not like that. People
mm-hmm,
are going to kind of like say, well, mayabang na yan. She is already
mm,
there, right?
mm,
So what are we going to do? We need to keep going. We got to keep moving. We got to it's not about you bragging, right? It's
mm-hmm,
about really discovering and
mm-hmm,
evolving to really who you are. And I guess that's something so beautiful, right?
mm.
Yeah.
That's amazing. No, I love that and 100% agree. Like,
Yeah.
what's the usual feedback that you get when you create a content specifically for your Filipino audience?
Uh, Usually what I get was recently with I can't even remember because there's so much.
Mm,
The recent one, so they going back to what we talked about is that do you speak Tagalog? Because
mm,
mostly on my videos I speak English,
mm,
and they would ask like why would you not speak Tagalog if you're Filipino? I'm like,
mhm,
yeah, I'm here. Like I have other audience too. I can't
mhm,
just cater to our own language, right?
mhm,
So I gotta have to explain that yes, I do talk fluent Tagalog. I have no problem with that. I'm not
mhm,
disowning my own language.
Yeah.
It's just, it's just a matter of also sending my whole message of what I want to say and show to other
Mm-hmm.
people as well. Because your audience actually just, you have like, especially here in Canada, we have
Mm-hmm.
diverse cultures, right?
Yeah, and
Like
you
whoever
also have
you
Filipinos that don't speak the language,
exactly who
the
grew up here.
Tagalog, or they
Yeah.
don't speak. They probably just speak Cebuano or
Yeah.
Ilocano.
Exactly. Or
It's not only
Bisaya.
Tagalog that's
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
language,
Because we
right?
have a lot of languages. So,
Mm-hmm.
so
Because
yeah,
my
I mean,
favorite is when I make like when I make Filipino content, for example, and then I would get the smart ass comments of they would comment in Tagalog specifically, thinking that I
uh,
wouldn't understand,
yeah.
right?
Well, how would you like respond to that?
Oh, I create a response video
I
purely
love
in
that.
Tagalog, and then I translate it in Kapampangan, and then I ask them if they want it in Cebuano.
Oh, wow.
Because it's like,
Wow.
just because you're right, like we're creating content in English and we're in Canada,
Exactly.
it doesn't
Yeah,
mean that we don't understand our language or we don't speak our language or
that's right.
you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
sometimes think
that's
that they can talk down to us just because we're
exactly.
not there.
That's true.
Like we
That's true.
don't abandon who we are. It's in our
Yeah,
DNA.
exactly. It's not that. It's not that we're trying to disown how the way
Hmm.
we talked before. It's just a matter of that like we meet new people,
Hmm.
like people around the world are watching you now. So what are
Hmm.
you going to say? Like what is the message that you really want to put out there, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Exactly. I love that. Okay. So let's talk about balancing authenticity and growth when it comes
Mhm,
to content creation, right?
mhm,
Because we know that when you're an influencer, you also get brand deals,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And at the same time, there's a certain when you're a social media influencer, you're a brand,
mhm.
right?
Yes, yes.
Yourself.
Mhm,
So how do you balance being true to who you are, and the business side of it, which
mhm.
is growing your brand?
Like yeah. So how I do it is that when I deal with brands and they want to see a specific uh thing, or for example the way how you showcase the product, how the way you say things and things like that,
Hmm.
this is how I want you to do the video and things like that, or how you even promote it, right?
Hmm.
What I do to actually really kind of maintain my authenticity is I really wanted to determine my creator personality first,
Hmm.
right? So because like determining really what your creator personality is that you can be like doing voiceover, you can be just like in speaking in front of a camera, or like even doing like skits and whatever, how you promote, that's your own style, so you got to have to
Hmm.
find your own style, right?
Hmm.
So for me, finding my own authenticity is just really determining first what is my creator personality, right?
Hmm.
I'm like this. I wanted to really speak up in a way that in like a storytelling kind of thing.
Hmm.
So that's why, because that's what you're going to be known for what you really do. Like I really just want to kind of like, this is what I do,
Hmm.
like for example, like a brand like a skincare kind of product
Hmm.
wanted you to share something, I'm going to incorporate that with my lifestyle
Hmm.
that actually shows my authenticity at the same
Hmm.
time. Like it's not kind of like showing like a like how the old commercials are like, oh, it's like in TV. Like right now what people want to see is more of like, oh, I want to see what she's doing. Like I want to see her house, like the background of her house.
Hmm.
That's what people want to see. Like they want to see like what's about you.
What's
So
real and
what's
raw?
real and raw, right? So that is exactly like how I do it, like my content creation. Like I want to kind of show what's what people can be interested in,
Hmm.
and kind of like incorporating the company that I'm working with, like
Hmm. Hmm.
that's just how I work things out. Yeah.
That's amazing. And I love that you figure out the formula to like staying true to
Yeah.
yourself and at the same time also managing the business side of it, right? Like there's
Yeah,
got to be a fine balance.
exactly. And it
So,
just, yeah, it
yeah,
didn't.
sorry.
Oh, sorry, I
No,
was
no,
gonna
go ahead.
say it just didn't take that overnight. It took a lot of trial and error,
Mm.
because you want to be yourself,
Hmm.
but you also have to follow what the brand deal wants for you to do, right?
Hmm.
So it's kind of really hard to do it all at the same time, but it's all about finding what really works out for you.
Hmm. And don't be afraid to make mistakes, you
Yeah,
know?
oh
I
yeah,
think that's what it is.
100%.
Like what you said, it's trial and error.
Exactly.
Experiment as
That's
much as you
true.
like
Yeah,
and then figure
exactly.
out what works and what,
Exactly.
resonates truly with you and your
That's
audience.
true.
Yeah,
That's
I love
right.
that. How do we're both moms as well, right?
Hmm.
To
Hmm.
young kids.
Yes.
How do you have that conversation with them when it comes to social media and also, seeing you be a content creator? What are the kind of conversations are you having with her, with your daughter?
So you know what's funny is that, and I even saw one of your videos. It's so cute how your kids can actually like copy the way how you talk now. Like it's just so cute. But like I always give my daughter a freedom to choose what she wants, and whatever she thinks and whatever she sees that I'm doing, I'm just setting that as an example of being confident, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you can say and you can tell whatever and support her, but sometimes being a mom, you always have to lead by example, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I want her to be confident too, right? It's easy to say, Anak, I want you to be confident. I don't want you to like have this inferiority that, if it's time for you to speak up, you got to speak up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I learned, in my own opinion, that sometimes it starts from you. Like it
They
starts
mirror you.
they mirror you. It's so true because after that, like right now, she's been asking me, like, I really wanted to be out there too one day. I want to be an actress and things like that. And of course, I will always support her, right? So
Mm-hmm.
what I just wanted to share out there is that it just really sets us as moms as an example because they always will look up to us as their role model, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. And it's true. It's not what you say, it's what you
Yeah,
do.
you do. That's
Because
one thing.
they will throw it back at you like, what about
Exactly.
you?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they will challenge you. And I
That's
love that
right.
that
Yeah,
we
it's the
have that
example.
relationship with our kids, and they can
Exactly.
really express themselves as
That's right,
wonderful.
because we just wanted to also give them the freedom
Mm-hmm.
that to express their thoughts too, right? We
Absolutely.
gotta have to always let them have the chance because I think all voice matters, right?
Yes.
Even if the youngest kid or
Except when they're
even
screaming, then
yeah,
they're
well, no, that's a totally
No.
different story. Oh my gosh, that's gonna give you like headaches, but like like I I just I'm just a listener, I guess. I
Mm,
listen. I listen. You tell me, I will listen. I'll try to understand where you're coming from and let's sort it out kind of thing. So yeah.
I love that. So what's next for Justine? What are the upcoming projects, and what
Yeah.
should people look out for?
Yeah, so, I'm very excited because I am getting into the groove of really showing more of our Filipino culture. Yeah. And I am definitely happy and I'm really totally excited because finally I found my groove.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm very excited to talk about the things and show the beauty of our culture and to kind of raise the bar as our vision, how the way we see things. I'm just grateful that I get the opportunity to talk to you about this and just having me on your podcast is really, a huge thing. So thank you so much for having me. But
Oh,
yeah,
thank
I'm
you.
definitely so excited to show the world who we really are, because if we
That's
can do
right.
it, why not, if we can do it, others can do it too, so.
Absolutely. I love that. It's always
Yeah.
so inspiring.
Thank
And
you.
I saw that you also were in another podcast for, is it Filipino
Yes.
Channel?
Yes, it was. I was with them too. It was a really great conversation, and I love how different perspectives come into play. And,
Mm-hmm.
if you are very open, like sometimes in life, you got to always be open-minded too, right? You have your opinion, they have their opinion. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about putting it all together and seeing what the come out will be,
That's
right?
it.
Because that's how you grow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we may disagree on other things like your opinion or your opinion, but that's your opinion. I will always respect like your opinion, but if
Mm-hmm.
like I'm just saying, like that's what makes us grow. You
Mm-hmm.
see things in a different angle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that also helps our experiences to better help shape ourselves. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very great opportunity to really, have these kind of conversations because I feel all of us really has something to say and show. And
Mm-hmm.
we have really something in us that you just really have to discover what is in there. And it's
Mm-hmm.
eventually gonna come to you and you're gonna just shine that light so bright.
I love that. And
Yeah.
I love it. I love seeing Filipino representation. That's
Yeah.
one of my advocacy, and the more of
Yes.
us are out there,
Yes.
you
Yes.
know,
I love that.
voicing our opinions, I'm all for it. So
Exactly.
I love it.
Yes.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Justine, so
You're
much.
very
It's such a pleasure having a
welcome.
chat with you.
I am
Um,
truly grateful. Thank
Kisses to
you.
your family, to your beautiful
And you
family,
too.
and
You too.
we'll
I hope
chat again.
yes, I hope to visit your home, your beautiful
Yes,
home one day,
please,
okay?
please come to our casa.
Yes,
Well, thank you.
absolutely.
I love
Thank you
you,
so
and
much.
I'll
I
chat
love
with you
you.
again.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thank you for joining us in this episode of Chika Sa Casa. If you enjoyed this episode and want to stay connected, be sure to subscribe to Chika Sa Casa on your favorite podcast platform. If you have any questions, topics you'd like us to cover, or simply want to say hello, feel free to email us at chikasacasa@gmail.com. Remember, Chika Sa Casa isn't just a podcast, it's a movement where hearts connect, stories inspire, and cultures unite. We are building a community where your voice matters. Thank you for being a part of the Chika Sa Casa family. This is Argentina. Until next time.